Man, what is going on, bro? What is going on? Is it the holidays, man? Like I'm telling you, is it like the people are out at these events and what is happening, bro? Every time I turn around and I look, there's something going on. So I'll give it a second to join for people to join, but they're saying Liverpool's trophy parade horror as car collides with crowd of fans after thousands flock to celebrate Premier League title success. Liverpool, UK. We're gonna get into it here in a second. Let me put out some notifications for people. Every time I turn around, there's something going on. We're gonna have to find out about this. What happened? Breaking news: car rams into a crowd. Holy moly. Oops. All right, so what are they saying here? They're saying that the car, okay, a man was arrested after a car drove into a crowd of jubilant Liverpool fans during their Premier League victory parade. The shocking incident unfolded just after 6 p.m. at Water Street in the heart of Liverpool's city centre. As thousands of fans packed the streets to celebrate their team's triumphant season, emergency services rushed to the scene within minutes. The dramatic images showing police cordons, litter strewn across the road, and a strong presence of officers, ambulances, and even a fire engine. The car, described as by witnesses as beeping as it made its way through the crowds, eventually came to a halt at the scene. The man was swiftly detained. So he was beeping and honking the horn as he was driving through the crowd. Multiple people were reportedly injured, with harrowing scenes captured by bystanders. One person was seen being taken away on a stretcher, while another man was pictured leaning heavily on a police officer. Wow. Wow, man.
Oh, it's a bit bonuses. Holy shit. Oh my god.
That was on purpose. That person was plowing through people. Oh my god.
Who's that?
What the fuck?
He's out of him.
Oh my god. That's crazy. I'll post this on Twitter. People are nuts, bro. Nuts. Damn, it didn't work. What happened? What a mess. What a mess. Multiple pedestrians run over by a man driving a car in Liverpool on Water Street. Uh, there we go. I just posted the video. Yeah, it's on X. Posted the video. 2 videos, hey Kev, 2 videos on X. Okay, I saw the main one. Very graphic. Person's just driving through. Clearly, like, intentional, looks like to me. Very.
Oh,
Hit somebody.
Holy
Proceeds to go into the crowd.
shit!
Turns towards
Oh
the
my
crowd.
God.
I mean, mowing people. That's crazy, dude.
Who's that?
What the fuck?
He's out of him.
Wow.
What the fuck?
What the fuck's going on there?
Oh my god, what
And people look like after it ran through people and stopped, people started like banging on the car and
the
stuff.
fuck?
Nah,
Oh,
he's
I don't
dead
know if
then.
that's funny me video that.
No, he's just killed a few people, you know.
Oh my god. You can see this part. I can show this part, I think.
What's happened? Some twat has thrown a fucking car into our fans.
It's crazy, dude. Crazy. That's the other video.
Oh my god! What the fuck?
Oh yeah, he just drove through hitting people.
No! What the?
Oh my god, this shit's crazy.
Oh my god! Oh my god! What the fuck? Fucking kill him! Kill him! Kill him! Fucking.
So after this guy ran through the crowd, people run up and they're beating the shit out of the car. Yeah, they should have dragged his ass out of there.
Kill him! Kill him! Kill him!
Oh man, that's crazy, dude. That's crazy. It's on Twitter, on X, if you guys want to see it. If you're on Discord, I could post it there too if you need. I can't show the video of these people running people over. Damn, bro, what is that? I don't know what's going on with people, man. I really couldn't tell you what drives somebody to do something like this. Is that they're gonna inflate that? I'm thinking there's got to probably be some deaths. A lot of people injured. If you've seen the video, it's horrendous. I'll post it on Discord if you haven't seen it. Or I think Chris posted it. Okay. Chris posted it. Thank you. Yeah, man, it's just such a wild time. You can't really go out, like, you gotta be really, I don't know, looking over your shoulder. I mean, you can't even predict this stuff. Even if you're super aware, you have to be on your toes. All right, let's see if I can get some breaking, some more like, let's see if we got any newscasts on. And I'm wondering about injuries, who was taken to the hospital. The suspect, they said he's arrested, Liverpool. Sky News, what's Sky News saying?
As to whether it was
let's check
a
this out.
deliberate attack or
it has to
whether
be
it was someone
deliberate.
who maybe had a medical incident behind the wheel of a car.
Oh, medical incident? I don't know. Could it be medical?
The footage is fairly horrific, and it's such a shame because I've been a bystander at the last 2 or 3 Liverpool parades, and this one, I was saying to my wife, was probably the biggest we've ever seen. It was raining, but everyone was out. Millions of, I mean, I say millions, I stick by that. Millions of people were out on the streets today. The atmosphere was fantastic. There was families, there was young people, there was people in wheelchairs, all absorbing the atmosphere and celebrating the fact that Liverpool had won the Premier League. And for this to be the headline at the end of the day is just devastating for me.
You said that you didn't see directly yourself what had happened, but you were aware of a police commotion. What did you think was happening?
To be honest, I've lived in Liverpool all my life. I've never seen emergency services run. You know, normally it's a calm, coordinated thing that goes on, and you know, police cars might turn up and they jump out of the car really quick. But I've never seen men and women in emergency services almost immediately run to something. So we were like, what's going on? And then obviously now we know.
That's sick. Yeah, that is sick, man.
Were people
just
in the crowds immediately worried, or was there just a sense of confusion as they didn't know exactly what was happening?
I think it was definitely a sense of confusion, and then things started circulating on social media. I think within 30 seconds of something happening, I got a buzz on my phone, which was a colleague of mine who was in a different area of the parade route, who said, something's going on here, it doesn't look good. And, you know, WhatsApp and social media was going off the scale. You know, people were talking, people were gossiping, and then, as I said, people were sharing videos, and it was horrible.
And what were police doing in terms of the crowd? Were they being ushered to safety, or were they under any form of direction at all?
Where we were, they were, you know, moderating the crowd and making sure that no one was doing anything stupid. So it wasn't that obvious that there was an issue with the police where we were on the parade route. Everything was fairly calm, but obviously they realized that they had a big issue here, and they were trying to deal with it accordingly.
And did you feel safe at all times?
We felt particularly safe where we were, but it's only afterwards, when you think about what's happened and then you see that footage, that you think to yourself, okay, wow, that could have been us. And it could have been anyone.
Who was that?
To be fair. And I think, you know, that the whole parade was policed brilliantly where we were. So there was police and chaperones and security, and there was a police helicopters, and there was another helicopter that was announcing things on a loudspeaker, asking people to clear the parade route. So it felt really safe. It felt really, really well organized. And then this happens. And I've got to say, you know, Merseyside police acted brilliantly in that moment because they kept the people who weren't directly involved safe, and they responded to the incident as it was occurring.
Rick, thank you very much for speaking to us and sharing your insight into what happened and what you were aware of this afternoon, early evening, as this incident happened. Thank you very much for your time. I just want to bring you a statement that's just come in from Liverpool Football Club, in which they say, we are in direct contact with Merseyside Police regarding the incident on Water Street, which happened toward the end of the trophy parade earlier this evening. Our thoughts and prayers are with those who have been affected by this serious incident. We will continue to offer our full support to the emergency services and local authorities who are dealing.
People are sick. Sometimes not even drugs, it's ideologies and beliefs, and they got to religion. They got to kill people for whatever reason.
Following this story,
crazy, man.
It's been a very busy day for you up until this incident occurred. Now attention's turning away from the sport and exactly what has happened.
Yes, this is a day of parades across the country. I've been at the ones.
Yeah, there's a bunch of parades going on today, right?
Operations. Just a reminder of just how significant events that these are, and significant in the city of Liverpool. A day of celebration, winning the Premier League title, turning into one of distress. Very concerning scenes we're witnessing from the streets of Liverpool, and obviously we are being cautious. What we are showing you is those images are spreading extensively on social media, and the fact police are saying not to speculate on the circumstances. And we have also been hearing from the Shadow Home Secretary, Chris Philp, who has talked about it being an appalling incident and referencing the footage and saying the public deserves to know the full facts as quickly as possible. Well, Merseyside police have put out some details quite early on now to confirm that the man arrested is a 53-year-old white British man from the Liverpool area.
White British man.
To submit footage that they do have, not to share it on social media because it is so distressing. And we have been hearing from eyewitnesses about the screams, the panic on that street, very close to the Liver building, by the water, for those who are familiar with Liverpool, and those who were describing this car, which was going towards the pedestrians in the area. Then the police were trying to block the scene as people started rushing to try to break into the car. And now we do know that the individual has been arrested. And witnessing the scene, the number of Liverpool flags and scarves is just a reminder how this was such a day of celebration across the city. The fact the parade started at 2 p.m, this incident happening at about 6 p.m. hours. This parade was going on for not just around the Anfield area, but making its way all the way through into the city centre, a 10-mile parade. And there we see, just above the ambulances, a Liverpool flag.
So they're saying 53-year-old male. Let's just rewind that for a second. Yeah, I think they said 53.
A day of number of had tried to break into, describing this car, which was going towards the pedestrian Liver building by the water, for those who are familiar with Liverpool, and those who were describing this car, which was going towards the pedestrians in the area. Then the police were trying to block the scene as people started rushing to try to break into the car. And now we do know that the individual has been arrested. And witnessing the scene, the number of Liverpool flags, the fact the parade started, this parade through into the city centre, attend the Liverpool area policing operations. Just a reminder.
Attention's turning away from the is our full trophy parade.
So the incident acted brilliantly in that moment because they kept the people who weren't directly involved.
That these are, and significant incidents, it being a panic started at 2 p.m.
We'll have to find that clip.
Which is also by the Albert Dock as well, and there's the Titanic Hotel a bit further down.
Oh, saying from Liverpool too? He's from Liverpool?
The whole area very much cordoned off as police are dealing with this as an ongoing incident, and the fact we've had statements from...
They came out with that quick, huh? Usually if it's like somebody else, they're like, oh, well, we have to wait and confirm and see, and don't run to conclusions, and it, you know, it has to be double check, triple check. It's not a terrorist attack until we confirm. This shit, yeah, 53-year-old white man. I'm like, damn, that was quick.
Liverpool area
compared to the usual.
Been arrested, and the police are still conducting what they say are extensive inquiries.
All right, let me see what else I can find. Let's confirm that.
And Liverpool themselves on their day of celebration, talking about being in contact still with the authorities, with the police, saying at this stage that they're offering their full support to the emergency
Thank you, Dean Officer. Appreciate that.
Local authorities who are dealing with the incident. We also have heard from the council as well, who've talked about liaising with the police as well, and from the ambulance services saying their priority is to ensure people receive the medical help they need as quickly as possible.
And Rob, the timing is quite significant, because that would have been the time at which the crowd was in
have like a
full
picture of this
swell,
guy,
wouldn't it? Because it was coming towards the end of the parade.
Yes, the buses had been winding their ways through Liverpool, starting about 2 p.m, this 10-mile route. And this...
So people are already kind of calling out. So they're saying, somebody here posted, an hour after the incident, the police are already issuing the suspect's race. When a violent black Rwandan murdered 3 young girls, the police hid the race and identity for weeks. I wonder if he's talking about that guy that stabbed all those girls and killed them. Oh, yeah, that's what they're saying. They're saying a 53-year-old British white man was arrested. Wow. What happened? What happened? Oh, look, here's a video of this dude, too. I really can't show... I could show the first couple of seconds. You can see the guy in the car. Maybe like 5 seconds. Check it out. You see him right there in the car. The door's kind of wide open and they pull it back. Crazy.
But the fact the police are reminding people to not speculate on the incident, to avoid sharing this distressing content, but to send it directly to the police on this day that should have been about the celebrations, celebrating the players winning the Premier League title, a title that was won about a month ago. They received the trophy at Anfield yesterday. So Liverpool, Merseyside police have had a lot of time to prepare for this parade, given the fact the title was sealed a month ago. And, you know, there'd been quite extensive briefings that had been taking place last week with the media. So they were very well prepared for this parade, given the numbers of people expected on it. But for now, the scene there just showing how this day has turned into one of quite horrific scenes for those who've witnessed this car going into the very crowded street full of pedestrians.
Yeah, indeed. Rob, thank you very much for the moment. We're going to turn now to police commentator Graham Whettone, who joins us on the line. And Graham, the line coming from the police is very much that people should not speculate on the circumstances surrounding tonight's incident on Water Street. That's in their statement that they've released. That is the problem at the moment, because there is a lot of footage circulating on social media, isn't there?
Yeah, that's always a problem this day and age, with social media taking over so much news reporting, with people being, and so many
those
people
bastards
present at that scene when that awful incident took place. Mobile phones out, people recording it and then posting it almost straight away. It potentially is a huge issue for Merseyside police to try and manage this information, and then the inaccurate speculation. I've already seen a couple of posts that are completely inaccurate in what they're suggesting or alleging. So far too early to speculate. Credit to Merseyside police coming out so quickly. I think within about an hour, they said that a car was in collision with pedestrians. The car was stopped then at the scene and a male was detained. And then literally about, I think, 10, 15 minutes ago, you reported a fact. They've now announced that a 53-year-old white British male from the local area has been arrested for this, and then urged people not to speculate and not to share images. People have friends, family and loved ones who have gone to this celebration. They're probably still waiting to come home. So the police will be working very, very quickly to try and notify anybody who's got relatives that have been.
I'm very curious to see what they're going to find. What's going to be the background, the motivation, you know, mental health, medication, politics. Yeah, what's the point of this? I don't know.
people present, so many mobile phones and so much footage being captured, and
Who was he
immediately
targeting?
uploaded onto social
Was
media.
there a target?
And people are just looking at this. So that's a genuine plea not to share any more footage on social media, but to send it to the police if they have any. The investigation team will be very keen to look at all images, all footage, and have it as part of their what will be a fairly lengthy investigation into the actual cause, motive, and intention for this incident.
And Graham, there's nothing to suggest at the moment that this is sinister in any shape or form, is there?
What?
There isn't. I haven't said that.
Oh.
Again, they said it's too early to speculate.
That's the other thing too. They could say that this was a medical condition. Wasn't there something that happened recently? Somebody drove into was it a daycare? I think there was a situation where they said it was actually probably a medical condition, that there was no alcohol, I believe, in the system. I don't know, man. I don't know. Because witnesses have said somebody was honking the horn. Now you could say that they passed out and fell on the horn.
But they would have kept areas clear for the emergency services, police, ambulance to get into the scene, deal with the casualties, remove them as quickly as possible to hospitals, and then they'll start looking at the actual scene itself and the vehicle itself. Probably keep it in its situation, secure it, put an inner cordon around that, make sure it's guarded all night if need be, and then they will very slowly forensically examine it tomorrow and forensically remove it, retrieve it, so it can be examined very, very carefully, including all the mechanics. Most vehicles these days, if you plug a diagnostic laptop into them, it will tell you exactly how the vehicle was being driven, what was being done to that vehicle at the time it had a collision, depending on how old it is. But that's a possible line of inquiry as well. The actual vehicle itself is a key piece of evidence. So we'll make sure that is secure. It will be safely removed when it's right and proper to do so, and it's safe to do so. And then that will be forensically examined and mechanically examined as well as part of the investigation.
Graham, stay with us. I just want to bring in a tweet that's been put out by Everton Football Club, in which they say that our thoughts are with all those who have been affected by this serious incident in our city, and then they have a heart emoji. So that coming off the back of the Liverpool Football Club statement, in which they're saying that they are in direct contact with Merseyside police regarding the incident. Graham, at the moment, the area will still be a active crime scene, won't it?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, with extensive cordons in place. We've seen, lots of police tape already. A fairly large and significant crime scene. The whole area will be cordoned off. The inner area around the vehicle itself will be the inner cordon. That will be secure as well. People will be removed from there, including the police officers. So the vehicle itself will have its own cordon around it. And then I would imagine, fairly large and extensive outer cordon, which may well try and include the actual route of the vehicle, depending where that vehicle first came to notice on that route itself, where it joined the parade, how it got onto the parade, what route it took. So that should form part of the crime scene as well. So without knowing where that happened, it could be a fairly large and extensive cordon area around the Liverpool city centre.
And what happens next, Graham? We know that it is still an active crime scene, but what other measures will police be taking now, I suppose, to gather information and evidence?
Well, we've heard already they're putting a appeal out for people to contact them and to upload any footage they've got to Merseyside Police, or either on the Merseyside Police website itself or by dialing 101 and quoting incident 784. But they've been asking for the footage to be sent in. They'll be gathering a fairly large and significant investigation team, identifying a senior investigating officer and a deputy. They'll be setting their investigative strategy already, looking at interview teams, dealing with the suspect as well, booking the suspect in, looking at legal representation for the suspect, any assessments, medical assessments, etc. They could well take place tonight, and then depending what time they are done, there may be time for a very quick interview tonight. But then the suspect is likely to go into some form of period of rest, and that will then recommence. The interviews are likely to recommence tomorrow. So part of the Police and Criminal Evidence Act is that you allow your suspects to have, and it is a suspect at this stage, a significant period of rest before significant interviews. So you can do an urgent interview probably before you put them into a period of rest. then you put them into period arrest. So I'd imagine the main part of the interviews are likely to be sometime tomorrow, but almost like a slow investigative phase now. Once they've got all the roles identified, the people are on scene, the scene officers are there, they've had a look at it, they've made sure that the scene itself is secure, and then they can get people into the area to have a look at it. So it's very likely as well the scene investigating officers want to go down and have a look at the whole scene themselves, so they can picture it in their mind, keep an open mind as to actually what happened, how the vehicle got onto the area itself, where it travelled to, where it was stopped, the detention of the actual driver, how they were removed from the scene, so they can visualise what's happened, then set their strategy, and then start assigning roles to people about forensics, exhibits, etc.
Graham, as far as I know, we haven't had any details from the police of any injuries at all. Is that normal at this stage?
Yeah, it is, because there'll still be. This is again where I think we're about 2 hours 20 into it now. Excuse me.
Hey man, these people, something wrong with these people. Let me see if I can find anything else. Is he all right? Is he choking? What happened to that guy?
Graham, we were just talking to you there. We'll leave you for the moment.
Let's check on him.
Cross now to our political correspondent, Liz Bates, who's been monitoring.
Oh my gosh. Let me just warn you, by the way. Let me see. What is this? Oh my gosh. Yeah. Careful if you're queasy and you're browsing X, because I saw the first very graphic image of somebody's body, like under the car, wedged, it looks like. Let me see, what is this?
Someone just tried driving through the crowd.
They want to kill this guy. They wanted to kill this guy.
What the? Oh. Literally.
Yeah, so there's multiple people laid out on the ground. I'll post this as well. Multiple people laid out on the ground. I just have to I can't show everything because of YouTube, you know. But yeah, it's all, if you're looking for the uncensored stuff, it's on X, all over X. Wow.
Incident today and their loved ones, the emergency services are rightly leading the immediate response to this awful turn of events. That's a post on X from Liverpool Walton MP Dan Carden. Lots of other local MPs also putting out statements. Kim Johnson, Liverpool Riverside, has said, "I sincerely hope all those involved are safe and get home to their loved ones soon." This is Annalise Midgley, MP for Knowsley. She says, "My love, thoughts and prayers are with those injured and affected by the incident on Water Street. Let's ensure we don't spread misinformation and wait for the police and emergency services to do their job. It's such a heartbreaking end to what should have been a beautiful day." Let me bring you a little bit more from some figures in Westminster as well. This is the Shadow Home Secretary, Chris Phillips. So Conservative Shadow Home Secretary, what he says is the appalling footage depicts a car being driven into fans as they celebrated Liverpool's Premier League win. The public deserve to know the full facts as quickly as possible. Yeah. This is another Conservative, Stuart Andrew, Shadow Sports Minister. He says he is deeply concerned by the incident during Liverpool FC's victory parade. A day of celebration has been overshadowed by distressing events. My thoughts are with those affected. Grateful to emergency services for their swift response. We must ensure public events remain safe for all. So, as you can see, a whole range now of...
The thing, too, it's like, because, you know, they're saying hold off on speculation and stuff, but because they're showing, the possibility of a medical situation, but I mean, how? Because the thing is, where that car was at, let me see the video, where that car was like in the middle of, so they have to have some type of security, right? Like, why would a car be driving through this crowd? Like, do they normally in this parade, in the picture there, are cars just driving? That's a normal path for a car. It doesn't look like a normal path for a car to begin with. So how the hell? Let's say they just happened to have a medical condition, but it didn't start in the middle of this crowd. They had to have gone past security or some type of whatever. You know, I don't know. I have a hard time believing a medical condition with this. Why were you there in the first place? It doesn't look like a place where cars should have been driving. No barriers? Midnight, no barriers, really? Concrete barriers should be, yeah. Did they have any barriers?
I think that is highly likely, but as I say, we still don't know we don't know the full nature of what has happened here. And I think certainly tonight, the Prime Minister, the Home Secretary will be working very hard behind the scenes to support those people on the ground and to release as much information as is possible. But during an incident like this, there are a lot of very urgent conversations that need to go on before a bigger political plan can be rolled out. So I think at the moment, Number 10 will not be thinking about the Prime Minister or the Home Secretary's movements over the next few days. They'll be thinking about the initial response, supporting security and emergency services. And as the picture emerges more clearly of what's happened here, that is when we will get a much better sense of how the Prime Minister and other senior political figures are going to react over the next few days.
Oh, yeah.
OK, Liz, for the moment, thank you. I want to return now to Graham Wetton, our police commentator, who's still on the line for us. Graham, before we left you, we were just asking about the police not commenting on any reports of injuries and whether that was normal procedure at this stage.
Yeah, it's very normal, Gillian. There's normally a lot of chaos in the first hour or so of these incidents. You've got a number of injured people, a number of ambulances turn up. The ambulance control then decide who's going to what hospital. Some may not even go to hospital, they may be conveyed by other means or even just be treated at the scene. So it becomes very challenging to actually give accurate and factual details of numbers of injured persons, the seriousness of the injuries, because that's, again, what many people want to know, and then whether they've gone to hospital or not. So it's always very challenging to start collating those numbers because quite often people can be counted twice.
Hey, TC, how you doing?
So sometimes you get that adjustment, casualty figures in such serious incidents like this. So they won't want to release numbers of casualties and details of casualties until they've absolutely double-checked the figures, the numbers, and the details of those injuries, and that has to come from the hospitals. And clearly, the hospital's first priority is dealing with the patient rather than giving the police and media outlets details of the numbers of injuries and the extent of those injuries. It's still at very early stages yet to give those details out.
Some of the people who were very close to the incident, will they have been required to stay, to speak to police, rather than being allowed to leave? Do we know?
Yeah, possible. Those that are the immediate vicinity where the vehicle was eventually stopped or where it's collided with people, if the police have identified those, they may well ask them to wait sometimes so they can get their a initial brief account of exactly what they saw, heard, etc., while they're at the scene. So it's likely that it's possible that some of those have been asked to just stay there until a police officer or an investigative detective can actually come and speak to them. But you tend to prioritise those as well, those that have got the most direct and factual evidence and information. And the majority of others will have either a number or an email address taken so the police can contact them in the fullness of time.
Police are appealing for witnesses to get in touch with information, also to share any footage that they might have shot whilst in the crowds.
Yeah, they're asking to share with the police. They're urging people not to share them on social media, but if they've got any images at all, Merseyside police obviously those images as quickly and as soon as possible, not to have them on social media, to get them and have everybody else look at them.
I'll show you guys this video in a second.
Will be very keen, and there'll be almost like a small team set up to look through social media, to look at CCTV, to look at the images that are being uploaded by members of the public who are at the scene today at the parade, and have uploaded those to either to, I think it's Merseyside Police's website or via the 101 number. I think it's incident number 784 is the number Merseyside Police gave up. So if they've got information, they've got footage.
So there's this wild video. They're saying, so okay, that they had taken the suspect into custody. and there's I guess he was put in this police van, and the crowd wanted to drag his ass out of that shit.
You fucking rat, God!
They wanted to get him out of there. The crowd was very understandably upset. People are fed up. I mean, normal people are fed up with this. People are fed up. You know, I guess they wanted to do street justice. It's got to be very nerve-wracking, upsetting, anger. Almost like the Ramirez guy, the California serial killer, Nightcrawler, where the cops had just been slacking off for so long they couldn't catch this guy. They even put his face out there, and the community finally caught his ass and they beat his ass. They put some type of gauze around his head, but left a lump on his ass. Night Stalker serial killer.
A tweet from the Home Secretary Yvette Cooper, in which she says, thank you to the police and emergency services for their swift response to the truly shocking and horrendous scenes in Liverpool this evening. Thinking of all those affected at this very difficult time. The police are investigating and I'm being kept updated on developments. And that is something that the police will be doing throughout the evening, I suspect, keeping in touch with the Home Secretary to let her know the developments in their investigation.
Yes, that would be fairly normal in these type of serious incidents. You have to let the Home Secretary, Prime Minister, those in authority, those in government know as well, keep them updated as soon as anything significant or pivotal that comes to light by the investigation team. But they'll get the information as soon as the police have it and they can release it. And then once it can be released to the public, that will then be the second stage for the information to come out. But the key for the police, obviously, is to make sure the investigation is conducted thoroughly and professionally and diligently, and it isn't rushed. They maintain this open mind. They have a look at everything about the individual involved in the incident, the vehicle involved, gather all the information and evidence that they can, then investigate that thoroughly so they come to the right conclusion. You know, seek the truth about this rather than start speculating or trying to guess what's happened first.
Another tweet coming in, this time from Nigel Farage, MP from the world of politics, in which he says, horrified to see the scenes in Liverpool. My thoughts are with all of those affected and injured by this disturbing attack. And Graham, at this stage, we don't actually know whether it was an attack, do we?
No, I wouldn't expect the police to release that information yet. That would be one line of inquiry. I think I've seen one line coming out from news outlets saying they're working on the theory it was deliberate. And again, there'll be a number of theories from the investigation. So we'll look at all possible theories. As I said, they will keep an open mind. They will seek the evidence, gather the information, and put it all together, and then they look into establish the truth of what happened. But one theory would be it's intentional, it's deliberate. There are other theories as well they'll be working on. So, as I said, they will not be looking to speculate. They will keep an open mind. They will gather the evidence and the information and establish what's taken place. Part of that will be to speak to the person involved, and part of that will be to speak to the witnesses and even those injured from it as well. What was said, what was done, the actions that were taken. Have a look at the CCTV footage, see if that supports and corroborates the verbal statements and the digital images that they're looking at, together with speaking to the driver of the vehicle.
Graham, do stay with us. I just want to remind people who have just joined us this evening that what has happened, a man has been detained after a car collided with pedestrians in Liverpool city centre, this during Liverpool FC's Premier League victory parade. Emergency services were called to Water Street. Merseyside police were contacted at just after about 6 p.m. Today with reports of the incident. The car was stopped at the scene and a man has been detained. Merseyside police have issued a statement in which they say we would ask people not to speculate on the circumstances surrounding tonight.
What is going on? What is going on, man? They said that the person who drove this vehicle into a crowd has been identified as a 53-year-old white British man from Liverpool, England. Wow, that's what they're saying. We're going to have to get more information. Something ain't right. Something ain't right. And people are claiming, some people, they're saying, slow down. You don't jump to conclusions, speculation, and what if he had a medical condition? What if this was some type of accident? But in this clip, I won't play the whole thing. You can see where people are kind of like, "What's up with this dude? Like, what's going on?" I don't know if he had hit anybody at this point, but this door gets opened. The door opens. He looks fine to me here. He's not kind of a medical condition. He even grabs the door and pulls it closed and continues on his way. I don't know what kind of medical condition is that, but I don't know, man. What's going on here, man? This is weird.
And I saw this vehicle just initially it was adjacent to an ambulance, and it ploughed into a few people, and then it came to a stop. We were shocked. It was a lot of confusion, a lot of screams, and I saw people around me. He was about 10 feet away from me, and they started surging towards the car and trying to smash the windows. At that stage, I just assumed it maybe accidentally run into the crowd, in fact, my thoughts were for the driver that people are attacking him, and this could get very bad. I remember many years ago an incident with some police in Belfast where something like this occurred, and it came to my mind very quickly. But then he put his foot down and kind of drove through the crowd. He surged through like dozens and dozens of hundreds of us were there, but he just went straight through the crowd, and there were shouts and screams. And it just carried on going, and I couldn't believe what I was seeing. My kids were with me; they started screaming. We just were in a state of confusion.
What did you think was happening? You say that yes, you were in a state of confusion, but did you draw any immediate conclusion as to what you thought was unfolding?
Well, like I said initially, I just thought he's gone into the crowd by mistake, because he stopped when he initially. I think he was trickling along. Then he kind of put his foot down. With a few people, he hit them. So I think maybe attempted to brake, and then they hit the people. And as he hit the people, because there was a crowd of people around him, there was anger, so that they surged towards his car to try and get him out, or to smash the windows, or what they were trying to do. And like I said, I thought at the time that they're probably going for the driver, and he just may be innocent when he's going towards him. But then, when he then put his foot down again, either out of panic or either deliberately, I don't know. I can't speculate on that. But then he went into the pedestrians in front of him and just kept going.
Did you have clear sight of the driver?
I could see the driver. I couldn't make him out. My wife was next to me, and she had clear sight of him. She told me straight away what he looked like. She said, yeah, wearing a T-shirt, like a white guy. He just went straight into the crowd. I just saw him, but I couldn't make out what he looked like, other than he had like a T-shirt on.
Was your wife able to ascertain his demeanour at all?
No, not really. She said it looked like some old guy just driving. She said, it didn't look like he was angry or upset. Probably confused at the time, because obviously you can have some emotion on your face, but no, she didn't say anything other than that.
And did you see members of the crowd attack the vehicle?
Yeah, well, everyone that was around the vehicle was trying to clearly stop him at that stage, because they probably also assumed that he's deliberately gone into people. So they were hitting the windows hard, but they hadn't smashed it at that stage, because this is when he first hit the crowd right next to the ambulance. Then when he drove further down and going through all the crowd, then they managed to stop him. But prior to that, none of the windows were smashed, and he was able to drive off.
And did you see any people injured?
Yeah, we saw lots of people injured. In fact, the area where he drove through, then there's just people laying on the ground. And one of them looked unconscious to me, somebody quite young as well. So it was very distressing to see all that. My daughters were with me. They started crying, and we just tried to get out of there as soon as possible. People were kind of stopping and not sure what to do. But I know in that situation, you've got to try and get away from the situation and get yourself safe first and foremost.
It's just crazy too, as much as these situations keep happening, you know, and I don't know, maybe there's only so much you can do, but like, where's the security? Like, I mean, how many hundreds of cops are there already at this parade? How did this person get there? They don't have barriers out there? Right? I mean, I don't know what's up with all the trash, man. I guess from the parade, I guess that's kind of, you know, I don't know if there's only so much you can do, but this same situation keeps repeating itself and happening over and over. And, you know, we have people all over the world that are intelligent and smart and innovative. But they can't come up with some safety measure for this thing, you know, for these situations, these parades. They can't come up with an idea. You sent me a link to the website. Okay, I'm gonna check it out.
They were all shocked. There was a lot of shouting. The police, the very few that were on the scene initially, they started running towards the vehicle. There was a police car very quickly coming up from behind, but because we were all in the road, it couldn't get through, so we all were trying to then cram onto the pavements, and Water Street, as you can imagine, it was completely full. There was nowhere to move, so we were trying to move onto the pavement. We were right outside 8 Water Street, so it was quite a very busy area, and there was no space for people to maneuver. So at the same time as trying to help the injured that were on the ground, we were trying to give way for the emergency vehicles to come through.
Was there any sort of a stampede? Was the crowd rushing to get away?
Initially, it was just trying to get away from the vehicle. After the vehicle had kind of ploughed further down, yes, some people were running, some people were just walking. They weren't even sure what to do. Now, the worry at that stage for me was that there might be another vehicle, or is this coordinated, or what is it? You just don't know. So I tried to get the family completely off the road and onto the pavement where vehicles, you know, it'd be difficult for them to kind of mount.
And were you ever directed by police? Were the police ushering you to safety, or did you really have to make these decisions by yourself?
Not initially. I mean, look, there was thousands of police there on the day, but in that location at that precise moment, there was only a couple of police officers who were a bit further down there. They were running towards the vehicle itself, so they would have been taken away from wherever they were at. As we walked further up Water Street North, heading away from the Strand and heading away from the water, we did see some police then, some foot police coming towards us, and also the sirens of police vehicles heading down there. But like I said, the vehicles had become a lot longer. The uniformed police that were there, they'd already headed towards the vehicle in the incident.
And you're heading home now, or are you at home?
No, we're heading home now. We're on the M6. As you can imagine, the amount of people that were there, so there's a lot of traffic heading back towards the Midlands.
Okay, man, thank you for the link. I saw that video. I can't play that on the stream, but I did tweet that out. Thank you. Also, Michael, thank you for the article. Does have a lot of pictures, has updates from the attack. Okay, and I don't know if you're still in the chat. Willie, thank you for the links. I have to open up my emails. I've been kind of like cleaning up and setting up, but thank you guys for all the updates too. I see that now. I'm just going to leave my emails open so I don't miss this stuff. Oh, no. What did I do? Stop touching stuff. There we go.
Lights at some fire engines. And behind that, in the last hour, is a big mobile units turn.
Yeah, I would assume they're going to have to do some type of press conference. I guess they're trying to hold off a little bit and get situated. No number of how many injured, how many potentially dead. Just, you know, a lot of people angry and upset.
We've seen as many ambulances in one place. I could count at least 12 of them. And earlier on, around an hour ago, we saw about 4 people being stretchered into the ambulances. Some of those went away. We also saw walking wounded. There were people wrapped in blankets, looking very frail, and they were being guided by paramedics. Also, a lot of stretchers being taken down to this end of the street from the top near the town hall there, and those stretchers had that emergency medical equipment on them. We also saw police medics, and they had the backpacks of medical equipment as well. And then search and rescue teams have also turned up. So this is a big, fluid, ongoing operation. You know, the ambulances are still very much there. We don't know, of course, the full details of how many people might be injured. but certainly whilst I was up there were people still being taken away in the ambulances, and also that big cordon that you may have seen of police officers, counted around 30 officers, shoulder to shoulder, you know, not letting anyone through, because up there, very busy with bars and restaurants, people coming up to the cordon and asking questions and trying to get from A to B. Merseyside police, we know, the Prime Minister also said, please let the police get on with their...
So Christy in the chat says the whole area of the parade and the side roads were closed off with fencing and tape. The parade was live streamed on Liverpool FC YouTube, started about 1 p.m. UK time. Interesting. Did that person just drive through the fencing? Is it like, I wonder what kind of material the fencing's made out of?
Terror police are also involved, so a very big operation taking place up there, a big police and emergency service presence indeed.
And Charlotte, as far as we know, that will be there throughout the night?
Yeah, for some time to come, I would have thought. It can't be rushed, can it, something like this? And if anything, more people are coming. Sometimes when you go to an incident, you know, the emergency service and the police might start to downsize a bit and go away. That's not the sense that we're getting here. They're very much staying. You know, the 30-odd police officers there on the cordon. The size of the cordon still very big. So very much ongoing, and I would imagine could go on for the next few hours. Yeah, we're expecting an update from Merseyside Police in the next hour or so. As you know, police, everyone asking people not to speculate online. That's the problem, isn't it? Sometimes there's some very distressing images on social media and the temptation for people to speculate and start posting these things. But there's families involved here. We heard the eyewitnesses say that, didn't we? People with prams and families. We were up on the balcony here just moments before it happened. There was such a lovely atmosphere, real family-friendly celebration, and then just so quickly turned. We just looked across the road from the balcony up there, paramedics running, police cars, and just people running around, and we just didn't know what was going on. So I think this will take some time. We know there's a tent sort of around the vehicle involved as well, so forensics will be investigating this too. But how quickly it turned from such a lovely celebratory occasion to something so distressing. It's awful. You know, at the town hall at the top of Water Street there's people sitting outside bars and they're crying and they're hugging each other, and they're very shaken by this, that something which they were so proud of and were looking forward to for a long time has turned into this. It's extremely distressing. The police emergency services doing all they can as quickly as they can in a very busy area with very bad weather as well on top of that. But certainly I think this will be here for quite a while as they try and discover what exactly happened here earlier tonight.
Charlotte, for the moment, thank you. Well, we've been getting video of the incident coming into us here at Sky News. We're about to show you pictures of when the car was going through the crowd. We've edited it to remove any part where the car collides with the pedestrians.
Hey, you heard that, YouTube?
That you might find
come down on me.
Distressing nonetheless.
I mean, yeah, I guess that's all you...
Well, that the incident as we have on camera, the footage taken early evening when that car collided with pedestrians following on from that parade, Liverpool Football Club parade. With me is Rob Harris, our sports correspondent, who was covering the very many parades that have been taking place today. And this certainly not the way that anybody would have thought the parade would have ended.
No, and what we're seeing there is the panic on the scene and those chasing the vehicle. And we've had the eyewitness saying that they were smashing into the vehicle while they're attempting to treat people on the side of the road. And eyewitnesses talking about people being injured around the streets. We've obviously not heard any details on any injury numbers yet at this stage, and that message being certainly reinforced from the police not to speculate on the incident. So much speculation is online at the moment. So many images that are distressing that, again, police are asking people not to share. We are showing this partial part of a video at the moment, which really does show how a day of celebration suddenly turned into a moment of distress, a day that Liverpool was celebrating winning the Premier League title, parading the trophy through the streets. The trophy parade seemingly had just gone by this area some minutes earlier when this incident unfolded. And we are hearing messages of solidarity as well from other clubs, from Everton, their Merseyside rivals, saying our thoughts are with those who've been affected by this serious incident, also from Tranmere Rovers as well. But at this stage, no details on the casualties, anyone who was injured in this incident. The flag that's flying there of Liverpool Football Club, a reminder that this was a day of joy intended to be one of celebration across the city, a parade going across a 10-mile route, reaching so many people across the city. But it's turned into one that's certainly very distressing at this stage. And we're hearing from police that inquiries are still ongoing as they try to seek to establish the circumstances surrounding this incident. An extensive number of police on the scene, as we see there, and just so many fans, so many with families as well, part of this parade today. And at this stage, extreme caution what's being said. Liverpool's former player Robbie Fowler posting on social media about this being heartbreaking news, and this is just reinforcing just how significant a day this has been for the Liverpool family, the community, and so many fans there across the city. And at the moment, Liverpool Football Club as well saying that they're in direct contact with Merseyside police regarding the incident. Our thoughts and prayers are with those who've been affected by this serious incident. Liverpool Football Club saying they are supporting the emergency services and local authorities. This is an incident that took place very close to the building. Apparently the vehicle
tornado,
heading
crazy.
down the street towards
A Florida man that traveled to the UK. A lot of violence, man. Violent weekend everywhere, I guess. Yeah, I don't know. It's just, I don't know what to think about it. I don't know what to make sense of any of this stuff. So they're saying this guy was 53 years old. Okay. And dozens of videos showing this guy ram into the crowd. It doesn't look like a medical condition to me at all. So I personally don't think it has anything to do with that. And the one guy said he even stopped and then accelerated again. And we see the video where he's like popping out of the car, well, somebody opened the door and he looks, slows, and pulls the door closed and keeps going. Very intentional. What the motives are, God only knows. Or maybe I should say Satan. Satan only knows the motivation behind this. Cowardly, just on a crowd of people, just trying to enjoy the day, celebrating. That's what it is. True, like misery loves company. And just like these pro-mortalists, the only thing they can do is try to make other people suffer, I guess. But who knows? It's a lot of assumptions. You get no way to tell. We'll have to see. Who knows if we'll ever even know the true story behind this. This was very intentional to me. An intentional attack. I don't know if there were kids there too. It was a really packed crowd. I don't know if there were kids there and all that stuff, but oh boy.
But terrible scenes from what's been shown so far.
And what will be police procedure from now on in?
It's the beginning of a long investigation. A person's been detained. There will be numerous conversations going on.
I haven't seen his name yet.
To speculate at the moment, but security services will be involved to find out whether there is any trace on this individual, what intelligence there may be, what's already known about the person. A long gun, or the start of a long investigation. The scene's obviously been secured, and really the priority at the moment is for people that have been injured. But in the background, there'll be an awful lot of work being undertaken at various levels to find out why this person has done it, and if there's any links to anyone else, and if there's a wider threat, which hopefully there isn't.
We were just seeing shots of a
lot of children.
Big blue tent. That, we believe, is where the car came to a stop, came to a halt, and is underneath that tent. That now will be absolutely crucial evidence in terms of the investigation, won't it?
It will be crucial. That said, the fact is, that there is continuity of evidence in the person who's been arrested. It's known they were driving that vehicle, but
it does.
There are wider issues, as I say, going back to my previous comment about the wider investigation. We don't know what is in that car. I'm presuming from the fact that people are near to it that it's not going to present a danger, but we don't know where the car's come from. Is it a hire car? Have other people been in the car? So there's a wider issue rather than just the person who was driving it, because that's probably not in doubt. But yeah, to find out if anyone else or anything else can be linked to it. There might be mobile phones in there, laptops, all sorts of things.
So at this stage, it's not necessarily ruled out that there might have been other people involved. Is that what you're saying?
I'm not saying that there will be other people involved, but what I'm saying is certainly from a senior investigator's, investigating officer's point of view, they've got to kind of rule nothing in and rule nothing out at the moment until you can factually prove it. So, no, I'm not for 1 second speculating or wishing to scaremonger to say that there is a wider threat, but that is one thing that's going to have to be looked at, because apart from the priority of treating the casualties, what the police are going to be concerned about is making sure that if there's evidence anywhere else or any suspects anywhere else, that they're going to get those under control as soon as possible.
We are seeing people walking around at the scene now, some way from that tent. But
the guy that did this is a local man. Okay, that's a local man, 53-year-old white British man from Liverpool.
Probably work on the basis that some are members of the public. So in an ideal world, it would be completely secured. That said, if people have to go back to I don't know how many people live in the area, but if people do need to get back to their residences or collect the valuables and such like, it can be done under a controlled basis.
We're just getting a statement from the Liverpool City Region Mayor, Steve Rotherham, which he says, our hearts go out to all of those affected, especially those who have been injured. Thank you, as ever, to the first responders for their professionalism and swift action. This is a difficult day for our city region, but we stand together. And we know that the people of Liverpool are tremendously resilient. Not just the people of Liverpool, though, they're in the crowds today, because many international fans of Liverpool City Football Club will have been in the crowds. But now the scene that we see turning very much from the one of sporting jubilation to simply put a crime scene, Kevin.
Absolutely, and I was watching the celebrations myself earlier with one eye on what the security may have been from what I've done previously. But yeah, from this sort of event to the tragedy that seems to have unfolded, which is why they'll be revisiting as to what the security plans were. Even worst case scenario, if it does turn out to be, I say we can't speculate, but if it does turn out to be a deliberate act of terrorism, or even down to mental health issues, there'll be a review as to the plans, the security plans, as well as public order plans that were in place to try and stop this sort of thing. But yeah, it's terrible to see, as you say, after such a day of celebration.
Several, obviously, police officers would have been in situ anyway because of the celebrations and the sporting event and the numbers of people involved in those crowds. Would that have meant that this has been dealt with far more swiftly than had police not already been present?
It's difficult to say. That there were a lot of police officers present. I saw one of your previous guests saying around how congested it was with regards to vehicles being able to get through as in emergency vehicles. But it certainly would have helped to a degree the fact that the police officers and police vehicles were nearby. But going back to my previous comment, there's the what's known as the JESIP principles, which is the Joint Emergency Service Interoperability Principles, so that when a major incident is declared, all of the people can come together. So the fire service, the ambulance, and the police.
Sick people everywhere, dude.
a forward control point, the ground commanders, so that everyone knows what everyone else is doing to make it as effective and efficient as possible with regard to treating casualties and closing the scene down.
Kevin Jewell, thank you very much for speaking to us, security consultant and former police officer. Thank you.
Thank you.
Let's cross now to Charlotte Leeming, our North of England correspondent. We're actually looking at your pictures at the moment, Charlotte, as we speak. What is happening now?
Yeah, well, you can see, can't you, all that activity there on Water Street. And actually, I know you can see people sort of milling about at the bottom of that near the
like a
police
normal day,
vehicles,
like nothing happened.
All the way up to the top of there, you can see that's the town hall, the building that's sort of lit up with the red arches.
Now, that
all the way up to there, that is cordoned off. So that's quite a wide area, isn't it? And that's where all the ambulances was situated. I'd say about 12, at least 12 ambulances up there. There's also the white vehicle just beyond the tent, and that is that major incident sort of mobile unit which is brought in when there is a big crime scene and an investigation
Police
of this
opened fire on a
scale
woman
taking place. So, as you say, earlier on when we were on the balcony and we were reporting on the Victory Parade, that street absolutely packed with people, and it was just starting to lift the cordons to begin to let the traffic in when that struck. And then we saw the paramedics racing up there. The police sirens were blaring as well, but all that street cordoned off. And that's where we saw in the last hour or so, we saw stretchers with the medical equipment being carried down to the scene near to the tent, and then we saw 3 people coming back on stretchers with family members going in the ambulances with them. And we also saw quite a lot of walking wounded, people who were being escorted by paramedics who looked very shaken indeed, and they had blankets wrapped around them, so they also were being helped and supported by the emergency services. You can see now some movement. The fire engine is leaving, but the police van getting back in place then, so keeping the cordon going. And we also had search and rescue. Quite a big team turned up from the search and rescue, and they were having sort of this conflab meeting with paramedics, with the police, all working together. This sort of two-pronged approach, I guess, to, make sure that people are safe, to get them in the ambulances, to get them to hospital, get them treated, but also the investigation is taking place, isn't it? And that's important. We've got this bad weather that's coming. They will be very keen to get as much information as they can gathered whilst they can. And just at the top of there, opposite the town hall, is a hugely popular, busy street on a night out. So there's a big cordon of police officers sort of shoulder to shoulder, about 30 of them stood there, just stopping anyone coming in. And, people are just interested what's happened, trying to get answers, but the police are saying, please, can you just sort of let us get on with our job? This is a serious incident and they just need to be able to get on with it. So quite a large cordon in place still, and we imagine that will continue for some time yet. We know the counter-terror police are also involved, so this is a huge operation with multiple agencies all working together just to find out, what happened here and why, has this car hit so many people on what should have been on such a special occasion, a family occasion with many generations of people together on this historic day, wanting to enjoy such an important day for the club.
Charlotte, thank you. It is just after 9 o'clock, and the breaking news tonight. Merseyside police say a car has collided with a number of pedestrians on Water Street. That's close to where Liverpool fans were celebrating their team's Premier League victory. Pictures from the scene show a car driving along a street packed on both sides with people before it is in collision with a number of people. The Prime Minister said tonight the scenes are appalling. Well, we've been getting video of the incident coming into us here at Sky News. We're about to show you pictures of when the car was going through the crowd. We've edited it to remove any part where the car collides with the pedestrians, but a warning that you might find it distressing nonetheless. Well, the incident took place on Water Street in Liverpool city centre. Just after 5:41 p.m, the Liverpool parade bus passed along the adjacent George's Dock gates to the Strand as crowds lined the route.
So that's how they came? Okay.
The statement from Merseyside Police says they were contacted at just after 6 p.m, following reports a car had been in a collision with a number of pedestrians on Water Street. Footage shows the car travelling south-west. Well, this is what we know. The area has been cordoned off and a large number of emergency services, including police and ambulance, are at the scene. Sir Keir Starmer has said the scenes from Liverpool are appalling and that his thoughts are with all those injured or affected. Both the Prime Minister and the Home Secretary, Yvette Cooper, are...
They need some better security, man. Whatever they got going on over there. I mean, there's like hundreds of officers standing there. All right, I'm going to head off for now, man. I'll keep you guys posted. I'm still waiting for this thing to show up. But I have a feeling today's been busy. I have a feeling I guess I'll be on later covering whatever it is whatever's happening. But we're back making videos and live streams. Stay safe. A lot of crazies out there. A lot of crazies. I don't know what's going on. And we'll see if we get some more updates on this suspect, 53-year-old man that rammed this vehicle into these cars. Man, it's just I don't know what the hell's going on. But thank you guys so much. I'll catch you later. Stormer will cover it up probably, right? Thank you guys, Scumdog Tornado, Midnight Paul, Past Nola. I'll see you guys in a bit, probably 5 minutes. Bye. Bloop, bloop. Yeah, I'll see you in 5 minutes. Hey, cutie pie. Oh, I got off.